Hey guys, David here with a bit of a computer and setup update video. I know it's been a while since I last did a video. I'm not 100% sure when the last one was posted. But anyways, let's get to the point of the video. We're currently sitting in front of the PC setup, of course. The monitor on the right is connected to the PC down here. This is a Core 2 quad powered computer, the original Intel motherboard that powered the system. Decided it was going to basically cook itself and burnt the traces on the motherboard. I don't have that board anymore. It is now running an Asus P5G41-MLE. Very good motherboard. The only thing that's a bit on the downside is it only has 2 RAM slots, so you'd have to get 2 4-gig sticks if you'd like to have 8 gigs of RAM. Other than that, it's still got the same processor. It's running a GT640. For the video card, I did have a GTX 650 at one point, but for whatever reason the card just did not want to work in the system right. It would work and then crap out and work and crap out constantly. So I just have a 640 in there for now till I get something a little better. It is a 2 gig card, so that works alright for me. This case does have front panel audio, as you can see, but it doesn't work for whatever reason, and the USB ports are kind of screwed up on it, so I just disconnected that. And there's actually no working light. There's connectors on the front panel for lights, but they don't seem to work, so I just left them disconnected. Yeah, there's a couple wires on the floor over here. I did my best to try and tidy up. I may actually fix that up again later. Something I'd like to do with this case is I have a couple fans, but they don't quite line up on the side panel with the holes that are drilled for a fan, so I'm thinking of just putting it on the inside and drilling a couple new holes and then just putting the screws in, and that should do pretty good. And then up top we have this Lenovo M58P. This is a small form factor computer. These are a DDR3 based LGA 775 system. They take Core 2 quads and all that goodness. This actually is running a Core 2 quad. It's got a Q8300 at 2.5 gigahertz, 6 gigs of DDR3 1333. Yeah, I know, it's kind of crazy. My secondary system has a little more RAM than the main, but that's alright. I could always get a decent video card for this machine and a little more RAM, and maybe swap out the hard drive for an SSD, and it'll be a decent light gaming computer. It is running a mechanical drive, 250 gig. I think it's a Seagate. It could really benefit from a solid state though, because this thing is a bit sluggish at times to boot up. But when it's running, it runs quite well because of course it's running Linux. This is Linux Mint 18.3 Sylvia with the Cinnamon desktop environment. Let me see if I can actually... System info. There you are, and the video card is a Radeon HD 5450 from Gigabyte. Linux doesn't actually say the right video card, and I can't really get drivers for this old card in Linux Mint, like the actual ATI or AMD Radeon drivers, whatever you'd like to call them, but the ones that are in there work plenty fine. And then the main computer is running Windows 10. This drive here is my 120 gig Kingston solid state. That's the 1 terabyte Western Digital blue storage drive, and then this is the Linux share that I have set up so I can copy files between the systems without having to do it over USB all the time. And the only way I can get internet between the two is I have a wireless card in this. The only thing is there's no bracket on it because the bracket that's for it is meant to fit a full-size system and not a small form factor, but that's alright. And I have it shared under Linux from the LAN adapter to feed both of the computers. It works just fine. I am thinking of eventually trying out Powerline network adapters and just getting maybe a router up here to feed both. And as you can see, it's fairly tidy back here. This little computer is actually quite quiet for having a quad core. I find it does throw out a fair bit of heat from the power supply. I'm thinking maybe it could use a tidying, but here you can see the internet cable between the two. It is a 550 watt Apevia power supply with a blue fan in the bottom. It's actually quite nice. This computer runs fairly cool, but when it does get up to temperature, it starts kicking up real good because it's the crappy stock Intel cooler, and it's the push pin style one, and one of those plastic pins actually decided to break because it didn't want to go in, so it bent sideways against the motherboard and just wouldn't go in. Here's the back of the video card, and I also have this USB 2.0 add-in card because this motherboard doesn't have very many USB ports. There's only 4 on the back, 2 of which are in use, one for the mouse, one for the web camera, and then we've got PS2 up here for keyboard and mouse, all that fun stuff. Video card is dual DVI. One is able to convert back to VGA because this monitor is VGA only. This one has DVI. And there's the back of the Lenovo video card. This card does have a VGA connection as well. I just don't have the bracket, and it's not like I could put it in anyway with the wireless card sitting back here. Of course, Lenovo has a display port and VGA for video. I wish it had PS2, but that's alright. I could always get a piece here if I really wanted to have a PS2 connector. I believe you could get the adapter and put it in one of these, or just use a serial thing. Anyways, that's all for now.